I just love seeing offensive comedy. It's just so needed.
It's needed, and the hesitancy around it, the way around it, is just by getting better and figuring out how to do it better.
Yep, that's right.
And that's all any art form is.
Mhm.
No, there's no artist that ever, Picasso or whatever, they never painted something and they're like, okay, that's now. No, they go, that was really, even if it was something, sometimes they go, it was shit. And then now it's sold for $10 million. But at the time, it's shit.
What's your goal as like being this creative person? What's your ultimate goal?
I mean, the ultimate privilege from it is being able to support my family, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And that's not really a goal, but I would like them to just be like ruthlessly comfortable.
No, but I mean your artistic goal.
I want to be able to become like I aspire to relive the Rodney Dangerfield, that mark that he left.
Wasn't that the greatest career? He had the best career.
He did.
Yeah, and he was really happy with it there for the last long time.
His story was cool too, because he did comedy from 19 till 28, and then he quit and started selling siding or something.
I know.
And did that till he was 41, and then all of a sudden got back into comedy and started blowing up. And
yeah.
That's also proof that you don't have to go, it's a marathon.
I mean, but whoever figured out that could be transferred into a movie franchise too. I mean, all the movies he did were huge box office smashes, and that's like some brilliance there.
I'd like to bring back that vibe of really funny, unique comedies that I think is missing, but accessible too, not like super hoity-toity, but just like Caddyshack, which is just hilarious.
Yeah.
Right. And
yeah, everybody had a great cameo in that.
Everybody who made it was like, I forget the famous directors, but they were like 20.
Yeah.
Or something. They were like super young and ambitious, and they didn't have computers or any. They had tape, the rolls of shit, and put it in the camera, and they were just on a golf course for however many weeks filming that in that area in Florida or whatever. I've watched the documentary about the Caddyshack.
Oh, I didn't know there was
making of it.
one.
It's really interesting because Rodney the whole time he's just smoking weed the whole fucking time, like hammered. But profesh still was killed every cut, killed every shot.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, I don't know if that was good, I don't know if that was any good. They're like, no, that was really good. So that's part of it, right? You do your best work and you still think you could do better. You have to. So
well, you're always trying to improve or get to the next step. You don't really know what it is, but for me, I guess now I've been doing stand-up for 40 years, and I remember asking Rodney, how long does it take before you're able to get up and write on stage? Because we have our act and everything and our jokes. But just the next level,
You mean like being a true artist?
How long did he say it took?
He told me, he said it takes about 30 years to make a comic. And he said it takes 35 to make a great comic. And now I'm at 43. And so I'm great. No, but so I have found in the gigs I've done over the last 2-3 years, it's to challenge myself to write on stage off the top of my head,
Did you look up to people like him, like when you were coming up? And
oh, yeah. He was, oh my God.
Was it like super special to be able to be in those? Like, how did you feel in those? You've had a lot of really incredible moments.
With him?
Your first break was Rodney, right?
With him, but just in general.
Yeah.
I mean, in general. Like what are those feelings of that when you meet somebody like him and he tells you something that like you just remember?
Well,
forever?
I knew him for a while when he said that because all the comics used to hang out with him when he came to the LA Comedy Store, and of course we'd gather around his feet to hear the stories he'd tell, and we'd ask him what this and that, and he'd critique people's acts too. you need to bring it up. He'd give great advice. He was our comedy godfather, and he discovered so many of us and put us on his HBO show, Young Comedians. I know the one I was on, the Young Comedian special, he had me on, had Jerry Seinfeld, Andrew Dice Clay, Sam Kinison, and I can't remember others, but I mean, every one of us, he gave us a career, But he was like all comics. None of us is sane. I mean, that's what.
Was he ever depressed?
Hello? Was he ever not depressed?
But when he was shooting the shit with everybody, was he in a better mood, or was he still just depressed?
It's like, it's all shit, kid. Nothing but shit. Nothing but. He told me, and this is true, his father, I think he put it on his dad's headstone because his dad wanted him to. I think he said, and he put it in Hebrew, but his dad said, I want my words on my grave to be, it's all bullshit.
It's awesome.
So that's how, and he's like, my dad was right. It's nothing but bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But if we would get a lot of comics together and we'd smoke a lot and drink a lot, and then we'd just jam, and that was the most fun. Like, get on a topic, like, how songwriters do in Nashville and them, and I think rappers do it too. Well, I've been in a rap thing, so I know they do. But you go around in the circle and everybody's like ready to sing their part because they've been thinking about what words, how's it going to rhyme, or what's. So it would be like all comics just sitting there on one subject and just everybody thrown out.
Just riffing, basically.
Riffing, yeah. I couldn't remember that word, riffing. But that's what he was so fucking great at. And he was great in his house because he gave a life to an adopted, oh my God, I don't remember his name now. Oh my God, I used to know his name. But there was this great comedian, and he was a great writer, and he was like legendary. People are going to kick me for not remembering his name, but he had
Black? Black?
No,
Oh.
Jewish.
Oh.
And he had too many neuroses to take care of himself in any way. And so Rodney adopted him.
The one-liner guy?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Oh,
No, you're talking about too.
And Joe Ansis, thank God. And so Rodney had him live with him and help raise his kids.
Sure.
But I did meet him, and so that was like the honor of my life to meet Joe Ansis.
Wow.
But he had this great line for Rodney where they went to somebody's house and the guy had a dog and it kept on staring at Rodney. It wouldn't take his eyes off of Rodney. And Rodney goes, what the fuck? He's all high. What the fuck's with this dog? He just won't take his eyes off me. What the fuck's up with this guy? He's making me nervous. And Joe Ansis goes, he knows you're famous. Which I just love that.
I think we're missing a lot of the comedy camaraderie in a way. I mean,
yeah, that's not allowed.
People will argue with me on that and say, no, because, this comic and this comic do a pod or this, but it's because it's way more competitive in a way. That, like, it was competitive to get those, when you came up, to get something.
Yeah, to get any late women on.
Right.
Jesus Christ, you couldn't. I tried to blow people, but nobody wanted me to blow them. And that was double hard, I've tried to go, I'll give you a blow job like she did, the one you put on last week. But horrible, they're like, yeah, forget it, Roseanne.
Oh, you see, my patience is growing thin.